Good morning. It is trail update time. Today is June 2nd. I am at mile 1,100. So I just crossed over 1,000 miles yesterday, so that's a pretty big milestone. Yay! Let's see. Just finished up the Shenandoah National Park section of the trail. That section runs from mile 864 to mile 968. So there's about 104 miles of the Appalachian Trail in the Shenandoah National Park. The park was pretty cool. The uphills and the downhills in the park were a lot less steep than what I've seen on trail thus far, so that made it, easier to do longer days and put more miles in. Talking to the park rangers at the park, they said the reason why they built the trail that way was to eliminate encounters between bears and hikers. They didn't want like a bunch of switchbacks and stuff where if you walked around the corner you'd be face to face with a black bear. The Shenandoah National Park has the largest concentration of black bears per square mile in the country. So the odds of seeing a bear when you hike through there are pretty good. In fact, a lot of the hikers hiking in and around me saw bears. I didn't, but that's okay. Let's see, cool things. Yeah, the Shenandoah National Park is more geared towards car camping. In fact, I kind of looked at the numbers a little bit, and people who like the Appalachian Trail through the park probably only bring in about $200,000 in revenue, and the park makes, I think last year they made $116 million, and that's all from people driving the Skyline Drive, which runs from one end of the park to the other end of the park along all the ridges and stuff. Apparently it's pretty popular in the fall time. People want to do leaf peeping because there's like every couple miles there's like a turnout where there's an overlook. So pretty popular for people that want to just kind of drive through there. So that's like their main business. So yeah, kind of made good time through Shenandoah Park. I think I was out of there in 5 days. A lot of good overviews. Had a couple really cool camping spots that were kind of stealth sites at some higher elevations where I had a great sunset view on a couple different nights. Probably the coolest thing in the Shenandoah Park was there was one afternoon I hiked into a picnic area that was off the trail, and I wanted to kind of seek shelter from thunderstorms that were coming in that afternoon. So I found this gazebo that had a huge fireplace in the center of it. It had like actual fireplaces on 4 different sides of this big rock construction in the middle. It was a pretty big gazebo, and so I was sitting under there just kind of waiting for the park employees and the park rangers to kind of make their last rounds of the day before I set up my tent or whatever, because you can't camp in those areas, but if you wait until dark you can kind of set up camp, and if you get up early and tear it all down and get it all packed up like you were never there, you can kind of get away with it. So, but anyways, as I was sitting there, a local family come in, bringing coolers and stuff, and we're setting up to do a little barbecue. Long story short, I got my fill of hot dogs, steak, potato salad, fresh garden salad, and strawberry shortcake for dessert. So that was amazing. After eating freeze-dried meals and ramen noodles for the last couple months, with few exceptions when you go into town having some town food, but that homemade food was excellent. So that was one of my good memories of the Shenandoahs. Right now I'm in a section of trail called the roller coaster. I'm in northern Virginia. I'm only about probably 25 miles from Harper's Ferry, which is kind of the unofficial halfway point on the trail, and I should be there in a couple days. But yeah, right now I'm in the roller coaster, and that stretches for the next 10 miles. And I guess they call it the roller coaster because there's like you're either going up a steep hill or down a steep hill. So I did about 5 miles of that yesterday to get to this campsite, and it started out pretty aggressive first couple miles, and then it kind of got a little bit mild after that. As far as Virginia goes, it's pretty aggressive, but it reminds me a lot of what we saw in like Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. So it's no worse than any of that. So I'll have to hike through that today. I'm going to try to do 20 miles, so that'll put me 10 miles past the end of the roller coaster today. What other exciting news? Oh, the 17-year cicada is hatching out here in northern Georgia. Just really started noticing it yesterday. I think I saw a couple the day before, but yesterday they were in clouds up in the trees. Their little shells are all over the ground and all over the trees and stuff, and all the little birds and lizards are pretty happy because they got this abundance of food now, so they're just munching them up. You see a lot of like cicada leaves laying in, or cicada wings laying in the trail from where the birds have eaten them. This morning at first light, probably at about a little after 5 o'clock, they started buzzing. And cicadas, they sound like, it's kind of like tree frogs, it's kind of like crickets. It's like just a non-stop buzz, but it's quite a bit louder. In fact, it kind of sounds like police sirens and ambulance sirens all combined together off in the distance, and it's just like a constant but luckily they don't do it at night. It's just during the day. So I got a feeling today I'm going to be hiking through a lot of that buzzing sound. The 17-year cicada, I don't know if those hatch up in Maine or not, but if they do, what they look like is a large housefly with these big red beady eyes. They're kind of strange looking, but yeah, they're harmless, but they're just a little bit annoying when they're making their buzzing sound. But like I said, luckily they don't do it at night, so I'll probably be hiking through a bunch of those again today. Let's see. Oh, I gotta say hi to Marjorie in Heartland, Maine. So, hi Marjorie. I'd also like to, and it's long overdue, thank all my friends and family at home for their love and support. Without that, I wouldn't be out here being able to do this. So thank you guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna hike on and head north.